American Heritage was a quarterly magazine dedicated to covering the history of the United States for a mainstream readership. Until 2007, the magazine was published by Forbes. Since that time, Edwin S. Grosvenor has been its publisher. Publication was suspended early in 2013. The sister publication, Invention and Technology, ceased publication in early 2011. Subscribers were told publication would resume. As of August 2015, the magazine resumed publication. Although the publisher was not bankrupt, current subscribers were not given refunds, contradicting usual industry practice. History. From 1947 to 1949, the American Association for State and Local History published a house organ, American Heritage, a journal of community history. In September 1949, a quarterly was published with broader scope for the general public, but keeping certain features geared to educators. Though the endeavor was not hugely successful, a group of concerned people formed the American Heritage Publishing Company and introduced the hardcover, 120-page advertising-free magazine, with Volume 6, Number 1 in December 1954. Though, in essence, an entirely new magazine, the publishers kept the volume numbering because the previous incarnation had been indexed in the Reader's Guide to Periodical Literature. Each year begins in December and continues through the following October, published every other month. For example, Volume 25 issues are December 1973, February 1974, April 1974, June 1974, August 1974, and October 1974. December 1974 begins Volume 26. The founding editor was Civil War historian Bruce Catton, who remained with the magazine for many years. In 1964, David McCulloch began his writing career as an editor and writer for American Heritage, which he sometimes calls My Graduate School. McCulloch wrote numerous articles for the magazine. He turned his article for the June 1966 issue on the Johnstown flood, Run for Your Lives, into a full-length book. When it became an unexpected bestseller, McCulloch left the magazine in 1968 to commit full-time to writing. Later American Heritage articles by McCulloch on the Transcontinental Railroad and Harry Truman also became best-selling books. By 1980, costs made the hardcover version prohibitive for a regular subscription. Subscribers could choose the new regular newsstand high-quality softcover or the collector's edition, even plusher and thicker than the previous hardcover. Each is usually about 80 pages and has more relevant features and shorter articles than in the early years. But the scope and direction and purpose had not changed. Forbes bought the magazine in 1986. On May 17, 2007, the magazine announced that it had stopped publication, at least temporarily, with the April-May 2007 issue. On October 27, 2007, Edwin S. Grosvenor purchased the magazine from Forbes for $500,000 in cash and $10 million in subscription liabilities. Grosvenor, who serves as president and editor-in-chief, is the former editor of the fine arts magazine, Portfolio. Grosvenor was also the editor of the literary magazine, Current Books, and magazines for Marriott and Hyatt Hotels. He was also the CEO of KnowledgeMax, Inc., an online bookseller. Contents. For a magazine that has lasted 1/4 as long as the United States, its way of covering history has changed much over the years. Each issue is still an eclectic collection of articles on the people, places, and events from the entire history of the United States. Today, there is mention of television shows and websites, and a greater diversity of articles such as Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates' recent article, Growing Up Colored, about life as a young boy in segregated West Virginia. Some historians have criticized the magazine for what they say is a lack of seriousness. Reviewing David McCullough's book on John Adams in the New Republic, Sean Wilentz stated that, during the 1950s, DeVoto's style of seriousness eclipsed by the more journalistic and sentimentally descriptive style of American Heritage, whose influence is everywhere. Wilentz claimed that McCullough and filmmaker Ken Burns followed the American Heritage style, popular history as passive nostalgic spectacle, marching under the banner of narrative. The magazine's editor at the time, Richard Snow, replied that this magazine has never taken an overly sentimentalized or simplistic view of the past, and that American Heritage is a magazine addressed to a lay audience, and thus it has the usual fixtures, columns, picture stories, and so forth, and a variety of topics, some of greater consequence than others, but that it publishes many historians whose work nobody has ever called simplistic or sentimental or undemanding. Numerous articles in American Heritage have later been expanded into best-selling books, including Barbara W. Tuchman's three-part series on Gen. Stilwell in 1970, beginning with A Yankee Among the Warlords, that was later published as Stilwell and the American Experience in China, 1911-45, which won the Pulitzer Prize for General Nonfiction in 1972. Walter Lord's 1955 article, Maiden Voyage, the first and last trip of the unsinkable Titanic, that became the best-selling A Night to Remember, which was made into a movie. Laura Hillenbrand's 1998 article, Four Good Legs Between Us, that became the 2001 book, Seabiscuit, An American Legend, and the 2003 film, Seabiscuit, which was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. In addition to running 4 to 6 articles, American Heritage's regular features include history news, news and happenings in museums, historic sites, movies, Civil War chronicles, letters, military reports, and other first-person accounts of the war 150 years ago. Heritage travel guides to what to see in historic American areas. Now on the web, what's happening on the website, letters to the editor, readers' letters, my brush with history, readers' own stories about incidents in their lives that have some interesting historical significance. Some things included annually: a travel issue, Overrated, Underrated, which features fresh perspectives from a variety of contributors on standards. Great American Place Award, a periodic special issue that features an in-depth article on a historic American city or region. During the early 1960s, American Heritage sponsored a series of popular military board games produced by the Milton Bradley Company. Editors: Bruce Catton, Oliver Jensen, Alvin M. Joseph E. Jr., Jeffrey Ward, Byron Dobell, Richard Snow, Edwin S. Grosvenor. Notable staff and contributors: Stephen Ambrose, Kevin Baker, Alan Brinkley, Douglas Brinkley, Henry Steele Commager, Joseph Ellis, James Thomas Flexner, John A. Garrett E., John Steele Gordon, T.A. Heppenheimer, John Lukacs, Pauline Mayer, David McCullough, James M. McPherson, Arthur M. Schlesinger, Jr., John Strauss, Barbara Tuchman. Awards: American Heritage has been the finalist or winner of several National Magazine Awards, especially between 1985 and 1993 to 1975. Finalist, National Magazine Award, Frank H. Johnson, Editor. 1985 winner, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, Editor. 1985 winner, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, Editor. 1986 finalist, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. 1986 finalist, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. Beth Whitaker, art director. 1987 finalist, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. 1988 finalist, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. 1989 winner, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. 1990 finalist, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. Theodore Kalamarakis, art director. 1990 finalist, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. 1991 finalist, National Magazine Award, Byron Dobell, editor. 1993 finalist, National Magazine Award, Richard F. Snow, editor. 1999 finalist, National Magazine Award, Richard F. Snow, editor.